Hey Aquarius, what's going on? This reading is going to be about what you need to know for September. So if there are any main themes, it can come up in the reading. Anything important for you to know, any advice, if that is needed, just anything important that you would want to know. Okay, we're starting off first with King of Wands and also Eight of Pentacles and also Nine of Pentacles. What this means is you're going to need to keep taking initiative with something that you've been doing. King of Wands shows you in a position where you're really guiding yourself. So whatever this is that you have going on that you want to get done, as long as you're taking the initiative, everything else is going to fall into place, because King of Wands shows you as being capable, like you're right to make the choices that you want to be making with this. It does seem like there's a very seasoned energy with the King of Wands and the Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles shows you hard at work. It shows that you've really been showing up. It shows that you have really been taking initiative, that you've been guiding yourself, that you have been figuring things out, that you've been being resourceful, that you're really following your heart with what you're doing. And to have the Nine of Pentacles here, it shows a couple different things. Having Eight of Pentacles leading to Nine of Pentacles shows that if you continue to show initiative and put the hard work in, you will really see something come to fruition based off of that. It feels like you're going to be seeing this happen in September. So if there's something that you've been like tirelessly putting your energy into, like putting your love into, even it can be with King of Wands, or just something that matters to you where it's like there's effort that you've been putting in, or there's passion, or there's care, anything like that that you've been putting in, you are going to see results in September. And this isn't just like you did a little bit and something happens. Having Eight of Pentacles shows a lot of work that you've put in. So this is not light work. This is a lot of stuff that you've been doing in order to sort of like set yourself up and to make things happen. And so Nine of Pentacles will be just that happening, things sort of showing up in the way that you need them to. Nine of Pentacles and King of Wands, both of these cards are about your ability to work independently and do things yourself. And Eight of Pentacles feels like you've been doing this. And I am also seeing Six of Wands on the bottom of the deck, so I feel like it's going to feel like a significant moment when Nine of Pentacles happens, which feels like you're going to see some results that are associated with the work that you've been putting in. King of Wands also shows you like not giving up on something. Like, I'm going to find a way to make it happen. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep going. That energy that you go into with something where there's a lot of perseverance here, and you also doing your own thing. That's also associated with King of Wands, because King of Wands is like, if that's what I want to do, I'm going to find a way to make it happen. It doesn't matter if this person or that person is doing it or isn't doing it. Like, I'm not looking around for approval. I'm approving myself doing this. So that's really the way with this energy. And seeing just the dedication that you've given with Eight of Pentacles, it just shows your hard work paying off, like the consistency paying off, the dedication paying off. And this is going to be one of those times too where you look at yourself and you're like, I'm the one that I can thank for doing this, because King of Wands is you putting in the work and you reaping the benefits because of that. So Six of Wands is feeling like there could have been something that felt a bit like an uphill battle, but now I'm seeing this feels like what happens will just reinforce what you've been doing, because Six of Wands is a card of success, and it feels like it's directly associated with what's coming to fruition based off of how you've been investing your energy and your efforts and like your vision too that you've had, taking this upon yourself. There's been some pain on this path I'm seeing. Let's see what this is about. Seems like you have something going on that you care about a lot. Three of Swords can be stuff coming up that has to be addressed. I want to get a clarifier on this to get more context. It's something that you want to be doing simultaneously. There can be stuff coming up that feels difficult. For most of you, I imagine this is gonna be something that takes place with you and another person. That's what I'm seeing the Three of Swords be connected with. If you feel like something is broken or something is damaged or something needs to be healed, it feels especially related to a relationship. I'm seeing that that's going to happen, like it's going to be figured out. I don't know if it's like all going to be figured out in September, but what I'm seeing is that there's a recognition of wanting to be somewhere with the Page of Wands, but then having Three of Swords can be like, yes, I want to be here. At the same time, there's some painful stuff that I'm moving through that has to be addressed, and I'm hoping to heal it. I'm hoping to reconcile it with myself, also feels like with another person, and I'm seeing that that ends up happening, but it's not like a direct solution. It feels like there are a couple different things that need to happen in order for the solution to be arrived at. Nonetheless, I am seeing that happen. It's gonna have to be talked about. Oh, okay. It does look like a big conversation is gonna be upcoming in September. It can come down to what you ultimately want. In a material sense, I'm seeing things looking really good for you. With the King of Wands and the Ten of Pentacles underneath, it shows that you've secured something important. So this means that you could have been putting in a lot of effort that was related to like your security, your stability. This can be, it can be different things, but it can be basically anything that falls under the umbrella of things happening within the 3D. This can be feeling like you're at the energy level that you need to be at. You can feel like you've stabilize something with your confidence. This can be something having to do with your resources that you've achieved. This is something that will be lasting, having it be Ten of Pentacles, because it speaks about, Ten of Pentacles speaks about longevity. So something lasting because of the efforts that you've put in, which shows you doing a good job. It shows there being quality when it comes to what you're putting in, and you having results that will last because of that. I do get the sense that there's going to be a tough conversation that you have with somebody. They're involved in something that you have going on. I don't know how you're involved with this person, but they're like on a common path with you, and there is going to be a difficult conversation that comes up, but it feels like it has to be spoken about. Like you may have a truth to speak. It feels like it can be about what you want or what you don't want. Something about that can be involved in it. Okay. Over here, I'm seeing that you're going to get some good result. You're going to feel really confident about this. This is going to be one of those times where like you try to do something and you see that it's very successful, and it feels like it encourages you to keep going, because I'm not seeing this be like a one and done type of thing. I'm seeing you've done something and it's successful, and it feels like it gives you like a boost of confidence to keep doing what you're doing. I'm seeing a lot of pentacles here, having 8 of pentacles, 9 of pentacles, 10 of pentacles. 8 of pentacles is like putting in the work, like really good at what you're doing. There being even like a level of mastery there. 9 of pentacles shows you don't really need the extra help. You don't need to look around or anything. Like, you're self-sufficient. You're able to do it yourself. It's not a time where you need like a team effort for this. It's a time when you can very much do this on your own, and not out of like a place of arrogance or anything like that. It's just that like nobody else is needed for this. So I'm seeing it just be like your own thing that you have going on here. I'm seeing it be very successful, very well what's happening. And I'm not seeing that be the end of it, because having the Magician come out after 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles is like, yes, I achieved this. Now what's the next thing that I'm going to be doing that's aligned with this? So it doesn't feel like you're then going to do like something new. It feels like just the next steps of what you're doing, because you've gotten to a place of achievement, and one that feels very significant and important to you. And then it feels like, even like, I'm getting good at this. Like, I'm figuring out how to make things happen. I'm figuring out how like my intentions align with my behavior, and then what comes to fruition based off of this. And I'm really enjoying the way that this experience is manifesting, the way that it's materializing. So I'm getting that there's going to be an overall feeling of that. And I get this feeling too of you being like very satisfied and like proud of yourself for what you're doing, where there's a sense of pride for what you've accomplished because of this being something that genuinely matters to you. And also too, feeling like you are, you know, King of Wands and the Magician is a very creative energy, where something that you felt very called to do, and a sense of passion, a sense of urgency even, and you making calls. You see that you've been making the right calls to get the results. For some of you, this can even be beyond a bit maybe what you expected. You'll feel too like there's something here about mastering the fire energy, because I'm seeing King of Wands and I'm also seeing Queen of Wands. This feels like the yin and the yang of those energies, and learning how to do both of them. So I'm not just in my feminine fire energy, I'm not just in my masculine fire energy. I'm doing a dance with both of these, and I'm learning the relationship between the two of these. And when I'm getting that balance right, I'm seeing like really amazing things come from this. So I feel like there's a sense of texture between these two energies that you're working with, which ultimately are like two different sides of the same coin. But most times, like, people can neglect it, and this is a time when you see, when I'm getting these aspects of my energy to work together, this is what happens, and I'm very, very pleased with these results. So yeah, you can feel like there's a bit of an alchemical thing that you're doing within yourself, but it will feel more like a uniting. And I do get a lot of passion, creative, visionary energy, and there being a very clear relationship between that. So this is like passion, vigor, caring about what you're doing, and that like bold approach even that you're taking, or just like getting things done, you know, not waiting around, you're not waiting for anything, and then seeing how things are materially coming of that. And also too, I want to say with this 8 of Pentacles, it feels really important because 8 of Pentacles shows there being a seasoned energy. 8 of Pentacles shows that you've been like working really hard for this. So this isn't just like purely talent. This is also the time that you've put in. This is like the earth time that you've put in to this. So it's not just like a undisciplined type of approach. It does take that passion to be there, like that fire to be within you. However, it also takes that like consistency and discipline, and there's an amalgamation of both of these energies. And then with the visionary energy of the Magician here, It's about like the relationship between these two things, you know, like this lust for life that you have and the way that you want your life to go, the way that you want experiences to materialize, and then what you're doing to make that happen, and the relationship between those things. And this feels like a bit of a contained experience. It feels just like something on its own. And I do feel like this is a time where if you've been like putting in work and not really seeing anything come of it, or it's just been like felt really slow, but you may have not seen so much growth, in September you're going to see something, for some of you, skyrocket. For others of you, you're just going to be like, oh, there are tangible results, so what I'm doing, it's working. It will feel like that. But 10 of Pentacles does feel like it's going to be something that feels significant, not just a little bit. It feels like this will be enough for you. Definitely meets the requirement of what you need, so you're not going to feel like you're lacking in any way. You'll feel happy with the experience and sort of what comes to fruition. I'm not saying that be the end of it though. I'm seeing there's going to be more that you do after this. So I do want to say that it's not to the point where you're like, oh, never have to mess with this again. It's more so like, wow, this is happening, and now it boosts my confidence to keep going with what I have going on. On the other hand, I'm seeing 9 of Swords. This looks like 4 of Swords maybe. Yeah. 9 of Swords, 4 of Swords. Can be taking care of your mental health. It looks like something's going on that's kind of distressing. I don't know if this has to do with that. It kind of feels just organically like a separate thing to me. This feels like one thing over here. I feel like you have another thing that's going on over here. It looks like what you may be getting more focused on, or at least becomes more relevant, is your peace of mind. So if anything has been extremely distressing, it can be a time when you're actually going to be, some of you can be resting, you can be recovering. 9 of Swords is something that you can feel like really worried about, or a lot of anxiety about, or just something that's feeling really frustrating or challenging. Having Page of Wands feels like you do want to be there, but having 9 of Swords connected with it can feel like I'm upset though, like something is going on, I don't like the way that this is happening, or it's really stressing me out, or I'm upset about hearing this. It will be that type of thing. And some of you, this can be connected with something that needs to be healed. Some of you, what happens is that whatever this is, it can bring up an old wound for you, and that's why it can be like more triggering than it would be if this were an isolated thing. I don't know if that connection is made immediately, but I'm seeing it feel like this kind of brings something back up. I wonder then if that's why I'm getting the word urgency again. That's the second time that I've heard this coming through. I get that you may take a break from something that you're doing. Not that you didn't want to be there doing it, but it feels like something heavy is going on that you have to take care of. 3 of Swords feels like something being very in your face, and you being like, this is something serious where I need to like take my healing seriously, or take my recovery seriously. But I'm seeing there be distress before this thing sort of comes up, which is interesting because it's not like 3 of Swords happens, which can be that situation of pain or something along the lines of that occurring, and then there being the I don't know what to do about it. It feels like something stressful is going on first, and then the 3 of Swords happens. So it's almost like there was a worrying about something, and then something ends up happening, and it can blur your vision a bit initially. What I find interesting too is that over here, it's just Wands and Pentacles, and then also the Magician, which is kind of like where your head's at with all of this. But over here, it's mostly Swords, and then we also have an Ace of Cups. So I do get the sense that having Nine of Swords, something that's going on here that you can really be struggling with. Four of Swords is going to be like the recovery from this, so I can get back into a mental state that is going to be helpful for me, rather than Nine of Swords where I can't even think straight, where I can't process, where I'm not feeling grounded, I'm not feeling level-headed. Four of Swords is going to be the recovery from that, so getting to where you need to be. And then Ace of Cups popping up at the tail end of the month feels like something comes through that you can connect with, that feels like if you had been so busy up here and not really here in regards to this thing that's happening that I'm seeing, it feels like something ends up coming through while you're in a period of resting, while you're in a period of recovering, while you're doing something to ground your energy. An Ace of Cups comes through, so there is something new that you're going to be connecting with, or you at least have the option to, and it feels like something that was not visible before and was not available before that ends up presenting itself to you. What I find interesting is that if I had to like do some guesswork over here with how I'm seeing the energy play out, it feels like you're on a path that you want to be on and something's going on that's distressing to you, or that you're upset about, or that you feel like throws you off. And then it's like, okay, so you're traveling down the path, you get a flat tire, so you have to pull over to the side, and then you have to be like working on the vehicle to repair it so you can get back on the road. So something feels like just an unplanned thing that happened that you can't keep moving, you have to address the thing. And then it feels like while you're working on it, like something comes down the road and meets you, and if you had not stopped there in the first place, you would have never connected with this thing that you end up connecting with, and it feels like something special happens in that moment. And it feels like by you just honoring what you were doing, because I'm not even seeing you necessarily looking for something, it feels like you were just sort of responding to what was going on and being like, okay, gotta pull over here, like can't keep driving on it like that, gonna bend the rim. So you're like pulled over doing your thing. And if you had like ignored that, or if you had like done whatever else rather than just being like, okay, here's the thing, like got to address it, this Ace of Cups wouldn't have come through and been available to you. But what I'm seeing is that an Ace of Cups comes through, and it is going to be something presenting itself to you. It's going to be a new chapter, and it will be something for some of you, someone that you're going to be connecting with. And it feels like it aligns with the path that you were on anyway. This doesn't feel like it takes you somewhere else completely. And this can be the thing that undoes the pause button. This can be the thing that ended up being like that missing piece or missing part that you needed to patch something up to then get back on the road. And then you're going to continue with your journey with this like added element. So that's what I'm seeing go on with this. Once you get more clear-headed, there can be a decision that's going to be made, or an important conversation that's gonna be had, but it seems very much like you have to get grounded before you even think about doing that. Because I'm seeing King of Wands be in the very last segment, not King of Wands, I'm seeing King of Swords be in the very last segment of this, and something goes on. It feels like, I don't know if this is going on and that's going on and they're going on at the same time, or this is the first half of the month and this is the second half of the month. This spread over here feels like something that you could be like potentially like emotionally involved in, or it could just like make you feel emotional, like spark something like that within you, and also like a mental side of that. But yeah, what I'm seeing is that it feels like something that you have going on, that you've been like traveling down the path of. Something happens, you have to deal with it, but then after it's dealt with, then I'm seeing the King of Swords be there. And so it feels like once something is patched back up, you're in the right state of mind to do something that needs to be done, and it will be in the territory of the King of Swords. So that can be decisions, conversations, needing to communicate something, things having to do with like messages. I'm hearing commerce for some of you. Can be like any type of problem solving at all with King of Swords. Anything that you need to be in the right state of mind to look at and address. Some of you may be giving an answer. I feel like things that happen more so, it feels like right away things happen that allow you to feel very stable. And it feels like it stabilizes something within you that's connected with your sense of self. And your self-confidence can be part of that too. Kind of like, look what I can do when I put my mind to it, put my effort into it, put my heart into it. Where it's not going to feel like I put in all this effort and then nothing happens. This is going to be one of those times where you feel very effective when it comes to what you're doing. And yeah, then with this thing over here, I'm seeing there be like a pause that happens to take care of things, and then I'm seeing there potentially be that like patching up of things. I just want to clarify the Ace of Cups. Feels like when this thing arrives, like when you're pulled over and this thing arrives and it ends up like meeting you in that place, to have King of Swords there feels like you're ready to meet that, like you're really in the right place. Like it came through at the right time, you were also in the right place because you did pull over. This isn't like you needed to pull over, you're ignoring it, you keep driving and you're feeling really frantic and then this thing is like bumping into you at the same time. It's not like that. It's like but something specifically about you seeing something was going on, having to pull over because of that, and then something coming to meet you at that point, and you being in a like calm state of mind because you're like listening and taking care of something, even though initially it can be like I wanted to be on the path or whatever. You're just like in a better place to sort of be receiving what presents itself to you rather than being all frazzled. Which I'm seeing happen, but then you recover from it. Can be feeling frazzled or feeling concerned. Okay, so this thing that ends up sort of meeting with you, where there's this sense of something potentially that you can connect with, you're gonna have to decide what you want to do and if that's something that you want to incorporate into what you have going on. It feels like hey, this offer is here if you want it, or this door is opening if you want it, and you may feel like you're not done recovering from something when it comes through, so I don't know if you feel like you want to take this on, but the potential is there for that. I'm only seeing Mercury here as far as a major arcana. Yeah, this thing that you've been working on, it feels like you've been working on it for a while. Themes having to do with your stability and your well-being. Feels like that also comes to light. Yeah, something happens that throws you off. Like, I get it being a bit upsetting when it happens. It may be a quick onset, and then you may, like, recover somewhat quickly from it, too. Some of you, you may, like, put a pause on a relationship. Like something could be going on and you have to make a choice about it, or it's just something that needs to be seen, but it can be something that's difficult to make contact with consciously. And I do get the sense of you having an option, but you could feel a little bit, that option that comes through, like in the last hour, it feels like when I put it back in, I was seeing Five of Swords, and what this can mean is that for some reason you can read something as like you needing to protect yourself. Even though it would be an Ace of Cups, so you would see that as being like a new-ish option, because it can be a new option or a renewal type of option. But having Five of Swords feels like, I don't know, you could feel kind of suspicious of something, or you could feel a bit guarded about it, or you could feel just like not open arms about it initially. But maybe it's just your process of using your discernment to discern whether or not something is aligned and whether or not you want to be getting into something, because it looks like an invitation for you to connect with something or someone and get involved. And having Five of Swords there can actually be advice for you to analyze that in the way that you need to, and then make a decision from that point. And you want to make sure that you're grounded when you do this, and not coming from you want to be aware of what's motivating you and the choices that you're making, just so you know what's going on. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I'd like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.